There are many crazy traditions that various cultures around the world taken part proudly, with millions of people coming together for these crazy events. Whether it be literal human sacrifice or the World Excel Championships, there's bound to be something that interests you. Let's get started. El Colacho. For the last 200 years, in this tiny mountain in northern Spain, a town called Castrillo de Murica has been conducting one of the most peculiar festivals in the world. It is called El Colacho, and it is where a man dressed in a yellow outfit spins the block and whips fleeing teenagers to the sound of a somber drum beat. Even more infamously within the El Colacho, there is a section where the devils, that being these men dressed in all yellow, leap over tiny babies laid out in the mattresses in the streets. No, this is not a Kip Explains metaphor. Just look at it, this is actually what happens. It is said to have started in 1621, where it is proudly engraved in the village's church, proudly jumping over small children for the last 403 years. The festivities start at exactly 6 a.m, where a group of serious men dressed in all black, with black hats and cloaks, emerge from a stone building. One man within this group wears a top hat and has what might be the biggest drum I've ever seen in my entire life hanging around his neck. The teenagers ready to get beat, well, literally, lined up like children, eager for the chase to begin. After a response from the drummer, the men in black begin to meander around the village, whipping any youngster they see, with the goal of the meddling teenagers to taunt the men in black while being chased. Another day passes, and it is said that these men in black are for some reason replaced by the red and yellow devils, and this is where the baby hopping occurs. There is a much larger procession to this part of the event, and the babies are laid out on small mattresses on the street, awaiting their fate. After the colachos or the lifeguard outfit devils jump over the baby, the local priest blesses the babies as sort of like reversing the bad omens that the devils gave the babies by jumping over them. Well, actually I'm lying. I don't really know why the priests do that. I just kind of like guessed, so hopefully it's right. In truth, the baby jumping and the child whipping and all other theatrics of that day are just the means of being an excuse to bring people from different continents together, to share food and a drink, and to laugh and keep in touch with your hot family friend from Monaco. There have never been injuries in the span of 400 years in which people have done it, which though it feels it may only be a matter of time. Now, I'm ready to shatter records as always. Sign me up. Some even argue that it is even more dangerous to walk in public with your baby strapped to your chest. That only really applies if you live in like London. The Kanamara Matsuri. The Kanamara Matsuri, or otherwise called the Festival of the Steel Phallus, is literally what it sounds like. It's the celebration of the quote-unquote, the boisterous procession of sacred phalluses. Yeah, you know what that means. The exact dates of this festival may vary, but the main festivities fall on the first Sunday in April. The phallus, meaning an artistic reconstruction of the erect male genitalium, is a central theme of the event. This is shown through the many illustrations, candy, and carved vegetables that are distributed within such an event. There is also the Mikoshi phallus event. Mikoshi meaning those events where that fancy box is moved around, and it symbolizes the transfer of deity between shrines. But no, this deity is someone's thick shaft. You've all heard of the big three, right? Drake, Kendrick, and Cole. Well, let's hear about the literally big three at the Kanamara Matsuri. The big three Mikoshi shrines include the Kanamara Mikoshi, a shrine with a square base and roof containing a wooden phallus contained inside, this being the oldest of the three. The Kanamara Boat Mikoshi, a shrine with a boat-shaped base, how could I have guessed, and a roof. Inside, a glowing black phallus is housed upwards. Okay, you could have just stopped at making it black, but glowing is a bit far. Are we talking like LEDs or glow in the dark? The third, but not least, is the Elizabeth Mikoshi, that being a shrine with a huge pink dildo on the base, without a roof. The first two older portable shrines were often carried by local parishioners, that being of mainly women who would chant in unison. Traditionally, sex workers have come to this festival to pray for protection against STIs. However, today, the festival is used more as a means of event that fights against STIs, like HIV. It's like if I'm struggling in college and I decide to go to my college library and pray to the bookshelf that I won't fail, and instead of going to the bookshelf, actually, I'm going insane. I'm going to stop before I say something unhinged. Famadihana. The Famadihana is a funeral tradition for some people in Madagascar. During the ceremony, otherwise known as the turning of the bones, they bring forth the corpse of their uncle or something, rewrap the corpse in a fresh cloth, and rewrite their names on the cloth so they'll always be remembered. You reckon I can request a name? Like, can I have my 2016 Xbox gamer tag on it? This is where it all happens. Then they dance to live music while carrying the corpses over their heads and go around the tomb before returning it to their family tomb. This follows their belief that the death of a person should not always be out of dread, but about celebrating the life they lived when they were alive. This is exactly what I imagined went on behind the scenes of that one coffin dance video that blew up in like 2020. The practice of the Famadihana is on a rapid decline due to many discouraging the practice and the price of silk used to wrap the bodies greatly increasing. It's always an inflation problem, right guys? As one man said to the BBC, it's important because it's our way of respecting the dead. Getting sturdy with Pop's lifeless body on my shoulder, it's a chance for everyone to come together. Famadihana is thought to be connected to an increase of cases of the plague in the region, of which has been quickly denied as those with the plague weren't allowed to participate in the festivities. Which you'd hope is common knowledge. If your old man died of the plague and you wanted to carry and prepare his lifeless body, you reckon that would be particularly hygienic? Despite this, there have been many families who have ignored that decree. That's all for the craziest traditions around the world. I hope you have enjoyed the video. Please feel free to subscribe and enjoy the rest of your day. Okay, bye.